For any of you who don't know, my name is Connor Johnston. I'm also known as Brian Heather's son to a lot of you, and I am currently 18. I am no longer at school. I finished school about a week ago, and of course I go to Windsor Baptist Church, and next year I'm planning to go on a gap year to Uganda. My earliest memory of church was probably whenever I won a colouring ink competition when I was around P5, and I remember this drawing was given to missionaries somewhere, and it made me feel very, very good. Yes, I remember whenever I think it was P6 or P7, I had Colin Johnson as a teacher, and back then he was the coolest person around, and this was great because he was very funny, and it showed me that you could get involved in church and still be cool. I thought junior church was very important because it allowed you to make friends with people who were around the same age of you, and I think it was great. The quizzes particularly I really enjoyed because I'm a very competitive person, but particularly with boys against the girls. And also the memory verses were one of the things that really stayed with me in the following week. One verse that I even remember now from being taught in junior church is, "Your word is a lamp unto my feet, a light unto my path," and yeah, that stayed with me quite a lot. Well, the process of me becoming a Christian was a very slow one. I think it was around the age of, when I was around about 13, that I probably became a Christian and fully devoted my life to God. And I think this is quite a hard step for me because in the junior years, most of my friends wouldn't have been Christians, and they couldn't really understand why I wanted to be a Christian. And I thought, what is the point in this if my friends don't like that? The main struggles would have been definitely school. School provided me with a lot of challenges. I think particularly it was rooted in the fact that I played rugby for 7 years, and throughout this time I think I was the only Christian who was on that team, and this made it very hard because obviously that meant I became good friends with the people on the rugby team, and it meant that I had sort of a lack of encouragement and support for my Christian faith, and I found this very tough, and it was just so easy to go along with the crowd, fit in, give in to the peer pressure, and I think it was a real calling that I should get more Christian friends in my life. Well, being part of Windsor has been class. It's great to have so many people who spend time with you, good Christian friends who, they're not just people you'd see at church, but you do things with outside church and throughout the week, and I think that's been really encouraging me. And spending time with older Christians has been great because they can challenge you in your faith, and they can also encourage you to move on and become a stronger Christian. Well, the leaders have always been really encouraging in all these things. I think I've noticed particularly over the last couple of years that the leaders, they don't really act like they're superior to you. They would spend time with you and they'd want to catch up and ask you your thoughts and all that, which is great. It really encourages me as well. And I think one of the things that's been best about Clay recently is this year we started the small group process. My small group had the leaders Dave, Ryan and John, and I thought that was just brilliant because we always had very fruitful conversations, and the conversations went on, and there were just so many things that I learned from that, which was really, really encouraging. And I've also been, youth fellowship was also great at the time, just in the end of the week to relax and spend time again with the volunteers. From the start, whenever I didn't know what I was going to be doing next year, to the end, Windsor has just been so encouraging in this area. I think it was whenever I was praying with Joel one time, he taught me about how to know, ways of knowing what God's will for your life was, which was very helpful, and from then it became very convincing that God wanted me to take a gap year to go abroad to work somewhere. And also people like Johnny Young, of course, who's been very encouraging about his gap year and had so many encouraging stories. And also other missionaries like Nathaniel have come up with many great ways of adapting to culture out there and just really helped me along that way. And of course, the pastors have been very encouraging in the same way. Yes, there is. That you have been class, let's just say. Thank you, Pete, for showing that people never have to become mature. The things that you've done with us have been hilarious. And thank you to all the rest for being a great part of my life. And I'll miss you all when I go. You played a big part in my life. Well, yes, one of the times like during exams when I'm feeling exhausted and really just out of it, there's one verse that has always really encouraged me, and it's from 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 58, and it says, "Always work enthusiastically for the Lord, for you know that nothing you do for the Lord is ever useless." And I think that verse is incredible. It just says so much that we should never give up for God, and we don't actually need results to see that we're in a relationship with God, that everything can still work out.